This is my state, this is my team. You know what that means. This is for the black and blue that I bleed. This is for the chance to bring home that ring. But everybody gonna doubt this. So far there ain't been another way around it. We bring heat to the game each week. They just say we ain't got what it takes, we ain't bout it. Well, y'all can just keep saying that we ain't gonna make it, but at the end of the day, this'll be the Panthers nation. You know, this ain't a game to us major players at every angle that you could think of. That's why you hate us. Get out the way of greatness. You can look at our faces and see the blood, sweat, and tears that it took to create this. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but you can save it. Cause even on the darkest of days, you know we're always gonna find a way to tell them what we gonna do, we gotta
What's up, everybody? We are streaming live here, and we have a lot to talk about today. It is day 6 of training camp. So before we get started, if you like the channel, if you like the stream, if you like the content that you are seeing on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, select all, leave a comment down below if you feel like doing so, and join in the live chat. Also be sure to check out Facebook page, the Facebook group page, if I could talk today. Sorry about that. Check out the Facebook group page. Keep pounding in all caps for in-game posts, polls, opinions, reactions to NFL news, schedule releases as far as stuff for the channel, stream scheduling, and also we're opening up the Fantasy Football League for this channel for Yahoo Sports. If you guys want to join in on that, it is totally free. We won't be doing prizes this year, but you will have the respect of all of the Keep Pounding community here in this channel and on the Facebook page throughout the year if you win. Now, as of right now, I have seen, let me just check real quick. I know we have 4 people interested besides myself, so that makes 5. And it's a total of 12 people that can be in it. So if you're interested, hit up that post on the Facebook group page. Leave a comment on there. I'll be sure to see it. You know, I do check notifications on Facebook, so I will notice it. Alright, and I know as of now, one person is actually already signed up on there and I forget who it was. But you know, first come, first serve. I'm opening it up. Whoever wants it, let's do it. I'm also gonna float it around to a couple of people that are regulars on the channel, so if they want to do it, then they'll jump in. We can always change the draft day and time according to what everybody wants to do once we get everybody in. So we'll converse at a certain time through that chat on there, and we'll figure out what time is best for everybody and what date. That sound good to y'all? And remember, it's just for fun, it's just for bragging rights this year, so you know, no contest prizes or anything. So alright, so let's jump into this day's training camp. I was there today. As many of you know, I posted a preview video and a post video. So I want to address a couple of things before we get into this, into my notes for today. First of all, shout out to Corey McKinney on Facebook. We don't have anybody in the YouTube chat right now. So, that being said, first thing to address is that jersey schedule. If you guys have not seen it, I posted it up on the Facebook group page. We've got white jerseys up until the Falcons game. Alright, so that Falcons game is going to be black. Ravens game is going to be white jersey. Broncos is going to be black. Seahawks is white. Steelers, Lions, both black jerseys. Tampa Bay Bucks game will be blue. And the Saints game will be white. So everything up until the Falcons game at week 10 will be white jersey. And you should expect me to be wearing the same colored jerseys on game days. So, that being said, next order of business. Baker Mayfield was asked about Deshaun Watson's suspension of 6 games. And Baker responds in the exact way that he should have. In the exact way that you're expecting him to respond in. It's none of my business. Point blank simple. It's none of my business. And he's right. Like, who cares? He's not playing against a quarterback. He's playing against a defense. Everybody that's just like, ooh, what about this quarterback? What about this quarterback matched up against this quarter? It does not matter. Okay? It does not matter to these quarterbacks that are preparing to play defenses. They don't play against each other. Come on, geniuses. Keep up. Dumb question alert. You ever see those like old those old school game shows where they just like drop you through the floor if you give a stupid question? So buzz the floor right now. Drop them through the hole. Stupid question alert. Alright, let's move on. Yeah. Jonathan Stewart says Baker Mayfield will lead the Panthers to a 10-win season and find themselves deep into the playoffs. Wow. I mean, this is some bold predictions from Jonathan Stewart this year. I mean, full on respect for this dude for being this optimistic. Like, I commend him for sure. Realistically, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I applaud his optimism right now. You know, and for those that are just like, well, you gotta balance out all the negativity with optimism, right? How about being real? Where does that fall into the categories here? Come on now. I mean, USA Today had us at 7 wins. I have us at 7 wins. We're the only ones saying it besides the 9 Lives people. And as far as I'm concerned, I think we're all on target. That's my opinion right now. And I mean, that's when we get everything going, the offensive line gelling, the quarterback battle settled, everything, figured out. going into the season. I honestly still believe 7 wins. I'm going to be real with y'all on that. Because that's who I am. That's what this channel is. We're real here. Yeah, we throw out a few jokes every once in a while. Trying to keep it real, Trying to have a little fun, but, for the most part, we get down to business. We're real about this stuff. And when it comes to this franchise, I'm deadly serious because I want to provide you possibly can so that we can all learn from it and all grow together as a community, and offer up some successful solutions, that the franchise may or may not take under consideration. So that's who we are, and to my next point, I got to say hi to Baker Mayfield today. I got his autograph, and I welcomed him to the Carolinas on behalf of our YouTube channel. So, there you go. I'm very excited about that. I finally got Ian Thomas's autograph. I've been hunting that one for a few years. I'll tell you that much. I haven't been able to get his for a while. So, I mean, if you look at this board here, it's starting to look like Panthers bingo. It really is. It's starting to look like Panthers bingo. It's like, who hasn't signed on their picture yet? I love it, though. I absolutely love it. And if you're looking for Baker Mayfield's, here it is. There it is. I got Brian Burns earlier this past week. I got Kalen Barnes. I'm very excited, man. These are very cool autographs to have, man. And I just want to say thank you so much to the players that signed these, man. Like, y'all didn't have to do that, but that was so kind of you to brave that 98-degree heat out there and say hi to the fans, talk to us, and just overall just care about us. You know what I mean? Like, it just means the world to us as fans out here, man. And especially those that have been longtime fans for years. And as for us YouTubers as well, we get to promote our channel to you, and we're very, very excited to do that, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to do that. I know you guys don't really do social media that much, but, when you have time, you try to. But I appreciate it, man. It really does mean a lot. If you're a player watching one of these streams or one of these videos, I just want to say thank you, for that opportunity. Because, especially to the management, thank you for the opportunity to get these autographs too, because that's so huge. To be able to connect with some of these players and to connect with who they are, and not just, oh, they're a player on the field, they're a brand. You know what I mean? Well, no, they're not. They're human beings too. And for our franchise to recognize that and really take that into account and allow us to make connections with them is everything. It is absolutely everything. I mean, you saw that snack trade video earlier with CMC. You saw several examples of that. Cam Newton handing out footballs back in 2015 when he got touchdowns. I mean, it's just, I can't say enough to thank this organization for this opportunity to do this. And, I say that in the wake of all this videotaping nonsense, because I want to to show the management how appreciative we are of the gifts and privileges that we actually do have, at these training camps. Especially the fact that it's free. I've seen all these other camps offering tickets and stuff to watch their camps, plus the videotaping prohibition on top of that is just oof. But I'm just really thankful that we're allowed to be able to do all this stuff. It's really awesome. Shout out to Sean. How you doing, man? Let's see. Shout out to anybody checking out the YouTube stream right now. Appreciate y'all as well. So yeah, let's talk about this. Brian Burns has no more time for Carolina Panthers excuses in 2022. That caught my attention. And let me put this up on screen for everybody to see. Alright, there we go. Alright, so this comes from Dean Jones from Cat Crave. And as many of you guys know, I've been kind of critical of this dude in the past because he's been just following Twitter trends and whatever trends come up, and he just writes an article about it. He doesn't have his own opinions. But in this case, he does. And I want to give him his due credit for this one because he's absolutely right. And he essentially says that he agrees with Brian Burns. He says there's a distinct lack of accountability within the locker room. And that's frustrating. One of the frustrating things. And that's created by Matt Rule. I agree with that. Matt Rule blamed everyone but himself and has transitioned to some players in front of the national media during a cataclysmic free fall to another 5-win season. Okay. So he thinks we're going to have another 5-win season. I say 7. But still, same point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to get rid of that. That's a little distracting. But he talks to Brian Burns. And Brian had this to say. Being in the system for 3 years, there shouldn't be any more communication errors. Anything about beating ourselves should be out of the window. That will take us from good to great. Once you get to the great level, the only thing that could beat you is great play from the offense. Of the other team. There won't be any self-inflicted problems. And my reaction to that is, I agree to a certain point. Here's the thing, though. You're always going to have the false starts. You're always going to have the offsides penalties. That's just going to happen. No matter what game you're playing. Nobody's perfect on the line. In any said given game. Like, every game that I've ever watched has had one of those two at least. In it. For one team or the other. Secondly, and I see where he's going with this. I do. I love the fact that he wants us to have no communication errors. I love the fact that he wants us to have no self-inflicted problems. That's awesome. That's where we should be. That's the goal. Truth is, you're always going to have those false starts and offsides penalties on the line. No matter how good your line is. Even the Rams had that issue last year. So, to say that's realistic is kind of a stretch, but, I'm with it. I'm with the general idea. I love the general idea of this. The communications errors, now that I agree with, 100%. We should not have any communications errors. You know, once we get everything installed, once we get everything figured out, no communications errors. Yeah. What he's basically saying is there's no excuses for anybody screwing up if you do screw up. Okay? Which there's a strong chance that people will screw up. But he's basically saying there's no excuse. You know, you guys are 3-year players. You got no reason to be dumb out there. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. And Brian Burns also had this to say. I'm always looking for more sacks. That's just going to come with really perfecting my craft, honing in on details, and having deliberate practices. I want to hone in on the words deliberate practices because that's important. That leads to healthy habits that are good. You know, he's deliberately trying to get everything done correctly. And it's honing in on the details, perfecting his craft. Exactly, man. Like, I'm here for all of this, Brian. Let's go, man. You know, that's the attitude you gotta have, man, to succeed. Because, again, I've been saying this for a number of years. There's at least 50 other guys that want to take your spot. You know, whether you're a rookie, whether you're a 3-year plus veteran, doesn't matter. There's always somebody looking to take your spot. So you got to hone in those details. You got to hone in your game. You got to perfect your craft. Always be perfecting your craft. And there's always something else to do. Something new. You know, a new bar to set. A new goal to set, you know, for yourself. And you got to keep breaking that glass ceiling, you know, as a player. So I'm here for it, man. I love that. You know, Brian's got the right attitude here, man, and respect to him, man. And shout out to Dean Jones for actually putting his opinion out here, man. That took some courage from this dude right here, because he's usually throwing out some stuff that's a Twitter twin, a trend on Twitter. Sorry if I can speak correctly, but you know, yeah. That's exactly what this is. I like this article. I like it a lot. So one of our subscribers had this to say. He's right. There shouldn't be any excuses for the defensive side of the ball this season. At least not for the guys that have been in the scheme for going on over three years. I'm hoping the offense can play up to expectation, because if they do, then our defense should look the best it has in a while. They looked pretty good last year, other than a few certain games, and most of the problem was being on the field entirely too long because of 3 and outs and turnovers. Yes, 100% yes. I can't tell you how many times I preached on that last year, on multiple streams. Their only glaring weakness from them was their ineffectiveness to stop in the run. Alright, I'm going to stop you right there and address that, because that was the second half of the year where that happened. Arguably, once we got through a third of the season, that's when it started happening. Because the first third of the season, we were doing just fine with that. Even during the Cowboys game, I felt like that was adequate run defense, you know, up to a certain point. And then it started to fall apart in the fourth quarter, in my opinion. Because if you start to look at the numbers, the numbers back that up. So after that point, it just became a train wreck. I want to say the Giants game is where it really, really began, but you know, because I think we did okay against the Vikings and we should have beat the Vikings in that game. But, you know, nevertheless, that's last year. And we added some new pieces at linebacker. We let Carter walk in free agency because the position, he was out of the position quite a lot last year. Okay. But Wilkes and Snow should be able to run a top-notch defense. Yes, I agree with this because Wilkes is bringing in that technicality. He's bringing in that those technical skills that we haven't had in a while. And I'm very, very excited to have that back. You know, the last time we had a real focus on that was when he was last here. Before he took off to Arizona. So when you watch the defense this year in camp, you'll start to notice it more and more and more as you go along. And the start of it, of people really noticing it, was Saturday, because they started ramping up that pass rush on Saturday, and I was like, wow, okay, let's see what this pass rush could do when they're in pads. You know what I mean? And I was not disappointed today. But we'll get into that in just a few minutes. All in all, this team has got to step up and make some real progress this year. And if not, Tepper needs to move on from Rule. Absolutely agree. You can't give a head coach as much power to decision making as he has given Rule and not see results by now. Absolutely agree. 3 years, you should see results by then. I'm with you. Year 3 has been Rule's turnaround year as a coach, so hopefully he's learned enough to keep his mistakes to get us where we need to go. But we will see. Right. Sorry, allergies. But yes, generally I agree with everything he's just said right there. Carl made some excellent points right there. And I love Wilkes, man. I love having Wilkes back in Carolina. It's making all the difference in the world to our defense. That has kind of been lacking that motivation. They've been lacking that technical footwork and hands and not stopping the correct gaps and communication errors. You know, stuff that Wilkes has been able to put a stop to and say, look, we're going to do it just like we did back in 16 and 17. And it's going to work. And doggone it, it did. You know, you noticed it. And shout out to Brian Burrs, man, because like this dude has been the most out of his coaching so far, just in this first week. Like he's having a great training camp so far. And yeah, I did shout out one other defensive end as well, I believe. Last time I streamed. I can't remember who that was, but yeah, let's get into these day 6 notes, shall we? Let's get this started. Alright, so camp today opened up with some punting drills by Hecker over there on the second practice field. And I was like, okay. Yeah, because I was kind of watching to see if the hype was true about his punts and stuff like that. Because I was reading over the numbers and everything. I saw a couple of punts from the Rams last year. But I wanted to see it in person. And I was definitely not disappointed. Hecker's the real deal. Ladies and gentlemen, the hype is correct about this man. We got a Pro Bowler on our hands right here. And I'm going to tell you something. I really, really like this guy. And I said it in my video. We have one of the best special teams units that we have had since 2015. Probably the best special teams unit that we've had since 2015. Hecker's a huge part of it. We got Zane Gonzalez making kicks. You know, we changed out that coaching staff a little bit. That was called, you know, from Graham Gano and Catanzaro, and also who else did we have? I'm trying to think. There was one other kicker that we had, but all of the patterns were exactly the same. It was a hook to the left, and the coaching staff was responsible for trying to fix that, and they didn't. So as a result, we went through about 3 different kickers, and we landed on Zane Gonzalez, and we got really, really lucky. Because this dude can kick. For sure. I'm happy about this special teams unit right now. I'm happy to see where we're at right now. We got a special teams leader right now that is doing an excellent job. Yeah, I think Hecker's going to make captain on special teams. I think that's going to happen. I wouldn't doubt it at this point. You know, there's some people that could argue that Zane Gonzalez should be the captain of that special teams. And, I mean, you could make a solid case because the guy's been around for a couple of years now. And he's done an excellent job. So, you know, you got a real battle on your hands for that captain spot. For once. In like 6 years, we got an actual real battle for a captain spot in special teams. And I love it. That's what we're here for, man. That's what we want to see. You know, when people come out to these training camps, man, you expect to see crazy stuff happen. You know, and you expect to see these battles. You expect to see all of this stuff. And none of us have been disappointed this year. I don't think. In my opinion, I haven't been. Because every position has been an absolute dogfight this year. Which is exactly what I was hoping it would be. You know, that's the bar we've been trying to set. And you watch these training camps for the last 2 to 3 years, it's been totally uninspiring. You know, trying to figure out, okay, well, you know, it's clear cut this person is going to take this spot, you know, but they're being lazy about it. You know? They're not really extending their body. They're not trying to make big plays. They're not trying to get, you know, but this year you're starting to see it. A lot more than you used to. And I'm happy to see the special teams be as competitive as they are right now for that captain spot. So I wanted to make that clear. And no one else is really going to highlight that at the moment. Because it's kind of swept under the rug. But I will, because I feel like it's important. Because of how strong this special teams unit is. Also, early on, you would see the hand drills with DJ and Robbie, where they would they're working on footwork. They're working on trying to catch the ball while doing cuts. And honestly, it was interesting to watch the footwork, because that's one of the things I was trying to hone in on, was the footwork and the hands, the technical stuff. And I know a lot of people don't really focus on that stuff, but it can become very, very important, especially during game time. You know, if you slip up, if you don't cut correctly, if you don't have proper hands and proper blocking, if you're an offensive lineman, it can make all the difference in the world. Whether your quarterback is under pressure or whether you got your gap covered, if you're an offensive lineman. You know, or if you're a corner, it can make all the difference. If you don't cut correctly, these wide receivers will burn you like yesterday's news, man. They will. There's so many talented and fast wide receivers in the league right now that if you even cut incorrectly, just even a little bit, that's all it takes. They get 2 steps on you. 2 steps at least. So you got to be careful. And especially when you're talking about players like Julio Jones. And he just proved he has it, man. He still has it. There was a video out showing that he burned a corner in practice. I think it was either yesterday or the day before. But yeah, he burned a corner one-on-one. And he had at least 2 to 3 steps on him. This dude still got it, folks. Don't think he doesn't. So that's why these drills are so important. That's why we do them. You know, and put emphasis on them. And I'm trying to kind of go through each one of these types of drills and explain why we're using them. You know, not just, oh, well, so-and-so did well on this particular drill. I want y'all to know why we're even putting them in place in the first place. Because it matters. It can make all the difference on game day. That cut could make all the difference between a pass deflection or a touchdown. Y'all see what I'm saying, man? Alright, so in particular, they were working with Xavier Woods on those footwork drills. And I was watching. This dude is fast. Okay? What you see on TV does not accurately give you a clear representation of how quick this dude's feet are. So, and I believe some of the plays that he's made in these training camp practices really highlight how fast he really is. Because when you see it in person, you're just like, wow. You know? We got a baller on our hands. So then you start looking at the defensive run and catch drills for the defensive backs. And why that's important is you have to be ready to catch interceptions if you're a DB at any point. It can come at any time. You got to be paying attention. You got to have your eyes on that ball. You know, if somebody tips it, you got to be right there. You got to have your hands ready and in place. Now, half of that is just being there at the right time and getting lucky. There was one in particular that happened today in the red zone drill. And my dude just got lucky, man. He just happened to be at the right spot at the right time when he tipped it. And that's what that drill's for. See, if you don't practice on just run out, catch, then you're going to miss some of those balls and opportunities. So, it's an excellent drill. I'm here for it. You know, I like that one. And one of the things I heard one of the defensive coaches say is run through the catch. Run through the catch. Think about that for a sec. You know, let's really let that sink in. You're not just talking about linebackers. You're not just talking about DBs. You're talking about wide receivers too, and running backs. Run through the catch. You're running whatever drill you're running, and then you got to run through it. You got to make sure you have it in your hands if you're a player. And that makes so much sense. I was like, okay, cool. You know? And I like catching little things like that from the coaching staff, you know? I like hearing little phrases like that really catch me off guard for a second. I'm like, wait a sec. You know, that's worth looking at a little further, you know? Because each one of these coaches has their own style and their own way of phrasing things and their own way of doing things. And I like that one. Now, maybe that one is probably said by 100 DB coaches out there, you know, or linebacker coaches, or wide receiver coaches. But it stood out to me for that reason. I was like, okay, you know. So then you have the run, cut back, and then catch the ball drills by the DBs, which I was mentioning a second ago. I think there was maybe one drop during that, and he recovered. And I think that was Hartsfield, if I'm not mistaken. So he did recover. He did redeem himself. So, and as I've said before, whatever you do and you make a mistake, redeem yourself on the next play. So the coaches stop looking at you like you're a piece of meat. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for reasons to cut you. If you're a player, they are looking for a reason to cut you. You've got to keep redeeming yourselves. And again, the whole focus of that first 30 minutes of practice was on the footwork and the technique. It just the little things, getting everything right. And you saw the result of that when you got to the 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s. You know, and the one-on-one drills with the wide receiver versus the DBs. You know, you saw everything that they learned put into practice on those specific drills. So the coaching staff is correct when they say that everything flows into the next thing. And that's exactly it. You know, it's a domino effect. That's what I've been saying. I've coined it as the domino effect, but, you know, you can call it whatever you want. No trademark on that, by the way. But, so then you got into the one-on-ones, like I was just mentioning. Again, if I had been getting footage, I would have all the names and numbers and be able to tell you specifically who did what. But unfortunately, due to the videotaping, I can't. So that kind of severely limits what I can tell you, information-wise. I will do my best, though, based on what I saw. Now, I might get some names and numbers wrong because of this problem. So, if I do, I apologize if I don't give proper credit. It just is what it is. We're working with what we're working with here. Based on what I saw. Alright, so here we go. You got Harper disrupting a wide receiver, hands-wise on a one-on-one. Pass breakup. And I was very impressed with how tightly these DBs are sticking with these wide receivers. Very, very impressive. You know, that's much better coverage than I've seen half of our DBs last year cover for half the season. And I'm sitting there like, that is an immediate, you know, if we can keep going with that and carry that into the regular season, we're going to do really, really well. And we're going to be able to create some of those turnovers that everybody's wanting us to get and talking about right now. Specifically, Unk said 20 interceptions, I believe. If you had to put a number on it, you know, he's the only one that really put a number on it. So I give him credit if he's right at the end of the year and we get 20. Give him his due credit. But right now, I would say 15 is more the realistic number because we don't know what's going to happen with injuries and whatnot. And also, we don't know what's going to happen during the middle of the season either, because that's where our letdown happens. Where we think we're doing really well, we go like 3-0, 4-0, we just do really well, and then we drop off the face of the earth. You know, so anything can happen, is all I'm going to say. You know, I'm trying to put a realistic spin on it. But I'm also, for right now, if I see them start to do really well towards the middle of the season, I may raise that number. We'll see. And again, I gotta get names and numbers right now because I don't have them memorized. So, be patient with me, folks. Rashawn Henry actually looked real good today on the one-on-ones. I was very impressed with that. Yeah, he had a couple of reps, and I liked what I saw. He's one of those that I haven't really pointed out. And shout out to David in Facebook. Appreciate you, man. Welcome on in. But yeah, Henry's one of those I haven't really pointed out up till now. So respect to him. And then you've got CJ Saunders with the good separation on whoever he was on. I don't remember who it was. But it may have been one of the second stringers or third stringers. But I saw that two-step separation. I was like, okay. Okay, CJ. Let's see you work, man. You know what I'm saying? And then they got Derek Wright involved in that drill. And I was like, okay. But he had a nice catch and showed some speed there. Which, you know, I like that. On the small drills like that. You know, go above and beyond what they're asking you to do. I've always said that, and I will continue to say that. Because that's how you get these coaches' attention. You don't do that just by blending in. No. You got to do something a little bit extra and beyond. And that's how you get on these coaches' radars in a good way. Zylstra gets involved with a beautiful catch, by the way. I really like Zylstra a lot. I've shown this guy love since last year, and I continue to show this dude love. Because he deserves it. He's working his butt off. He's earning it right now. And I give these players props where they deserve it. I did see a really good pass deflection during that drill as well by I want to say it was whoever was on CJ, I think, during the second rep. But yeah, he had no chance on that one. It was a deeper throw, and dude was all over him. He couldn't even breathe. And of course, the one-on-ones, Dante shines on that drill as well. He always does. Nothing new there, right, folks? I mean, Dante's just having a spectacular camp. I've got to say it. Like, everybody else is saying it too right now. Because they're seeing the same things I am. This dude's going to have a breakout season this year, I think. I just have that feeling. Because this is consistency. This is exactly what I've been preaching on. Good habits, good consistency, creating positive habits in training camp, and just continuing the production. And Dante is a perfect example of that. So is DJ Moore. Shout out to both of those guys. Luvu as well. I love it. Let me quickly get to these Facebook comments before they disappear, because I know Facebook loves to knock my comments before I get a chance to read them. Excited for the first preseason game. Kind of get a hint of where we are, because in preseason we're usually run a vanilla offense, and we don't want to show our hand till week 1. That is true. But I mean, that's what preseason is, though. You don't want to show your hand in preseason. Nobody shows their hand in preseason. And that's real talk, man. Because they don't want people to get an extra advantage on you. Now, in training camp, nobody's using any extra plays. Nobody. I just want to point that out. It's the same drills every single year. I don't know what y'all are expecting to be different. I don't know what secrets you think we're giving away here during training camp. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm not going to go into that rant. But, point being, right now that offensive line looks run blocking heavy. 60-40% right now. That's as of right now, into day 6. Now that could change once you get to day 10 or 11, that could change. It depends on how much you develop it. And I mean, the pass blocking is slowly developing, but it's happening, I think. But I mean, the quarterbacks are not making it look good, though, because I've seen a few picks, with good protection, and people are looking at this quarterback battle with a little bit of disdain right now, thinking, okay, well, you can't blame it on the line anymore. But, I mean, it's not spectacular against the blitz either at the moment. Because if you look at the line during Back Together Saturday, that line was where Steve Wilkes said, I'm going to dial up these blitzes, man. I'm going to stack the box, and we're going to see who these quarterbacks really are. You know what I mean? Without pads. So, what I was looking to see today was, okay, let's do that in pads. Let's see how these dudes do in pads, doing the same things. You know, are you going to pressure these guys into some bad throws? Are you going to pressure them into incomplete passes? What are you going to do? You know, turn up the heat. You know what I mean? And I was hoping that would happen. I was sort of let down a little bit, but that's not a bad thing because it could have just been the offensive line stepping up today. It could have been either one. So, yeah, you got to look at this stuff with a double-edged sword when you're looking at training camp. And also, a lot of people make mountains out of a molehill, so, and I'm very, very much guilty of it when I do training camp notes. So, every once in a while, I do miss something. Or I over-exaggerate something, and it turns out to be nothing by week 3 of training camp. So, you just never know. But 9 times out of 10, if I see a developing bad pattern, it's going to carry over into preseason. You know, 9 times out of 10, if you see a good pattern, it's going to carry over into preseason. So you got to... That's what I'm looking for is patterns. But yeah, we're not going to show our hand. You're going to see the most basic plays in preseason. That's what everybody else shows you too. So, not anything new or exciting there. Sounds like we're having an excellent camp. I wouldn't say excellent. I would say good at this point. We're having a good camp. And I put emphasis on good because for 2 reasons. 1, we're making progress where we need to. 2, everybody's healthy so far. You know, we just got J.C. Horn back. So, we're excited about that. And I think one of the guys on C3 mentioned that Shaq might have been possibly on that PUP list. Is that true or no? Can anybody confirm that he had any injury or anything in the first week of camp? What's going on there? Or is he okay? Because I don't know for sure. I haven't heard anything out of that corner about that. So I just assumed he was healthy. He is touchable at this point. Top 15 is more realistic. Because if you look at the rest of the league and the offenses that they have, top 15 is realistic right now. And that's a good thing because we were sitting in the top 15 not so long ago. I want to say 2020 we were. Is that correct, y'all? Was it 2020? Because I know it wasn't last year. Because last year just turned into a train wreck. Especially in the second half of the season. But I do remember us sitting right in the middle of the league. You know, just on the verge of that top 10. And I was sitting there going, wait a minute, man. We got something special here, man. You know, and it ended up just being another wasted year of really, really good talent. But we just coaching. Every year it's coaching. This franchise has been known for our excellent defense, and we have a history of it. Year after year after year after year. And that's from us getting the right defensive players in place and us understanding the defensive schemes and where people need to go. Yeah. And a good chunk of that was Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, what they passed down too. As far as knowledge. That down to Shaq. Shaq passed that to all the newcomers, that came into our defense. But and it just set off a domino effect from there. But could we be a top 10? I mean, doors open on it. But we got to keep people healthy, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, the door's open for it. Injuries are such a... Abs is more realistic at this point. Christian McCaffrey might have a field day with that line. Yeah, I agree. He already did on Saturday. And I mean, it's not a surprise. He had a little bit of fun yesterday too, I heard. I wasn't there, but I already had a lot of fun yesterday with the reps that he got. So, I mean, granted, I'm not saying our D-line is bad. I'm just saying it's average right now. And we got a lot of work to do on it. But yeah, the fact that it's CMC, though, too, is a major factor. You can't rule that out. When that man's healthy, he is scary good. I don't care how good your D-line is. He is scary good. He will run circles around most D-lines in the league. So yeah, getting into those comments right there. I just kind of wanted to point all that out. I'm going to go ahead and go into the 7-on-7s here. And it started out with Sam Darnold taking most of the first team reps today, which I was not opposed to. They were kind of splitting them up between him and Baker yet again. And I feel like Sam won today because he had that quick release. He was very decisive about his throws, and he just overall got the job done today on these long drives and these 11-on-11s. And I was very pleased with that. But again, a successful training camp day does not translate into a starting job. One in particular does not give you a starting job for either quarterback. You got to have a consistent number of them in order for these coaches to stop looking at you like you're shark bait. You got to step up. You got to show some backbone, show some positive habits in order for people to really start taking you seriously. And I know a lot of people aren't going to want to hear that stuff, man, about Sam Darnold having a good day today. Ooh, Baker Mayfield's going to win the job. Baker this, Baker that. And then you had the Matt Corral people too. Like, I saw one of them on 9 Lives podcast this week. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna stay cautiously optimistic here. If you're a Matt Corral supporter and you think that, he'll eventually ball out for us, I can sort of buy into that. And I'll tell you why. Number one, the point was made that we have an injury history, okay, at quarterback and on the offensive line. So I will grant you that. If we have injuries on the offensive line and the quarterback role again, if the pattern holds, which I don't think it will this year, then yes, you could see Matt Corral at some point. You would have to go cycle through Baker and Sam Darnold to get there. I'm just speaking purely hypothetical if this should happen, folks. Purely hypothetical. And Matt Corral comes out there and he balls out. Yeah, I could see that. I'm trying to make that argument for the Matt Corral supporters. You know what I mean? I'm trying to give y'all some chips on your shoulder a little bit. A little bit of hope. But if you're Baker and you're Sam Darnold, you're not going to allow that to happen. As long as both of y'all are healthy, man, y'all are not going to allow that to happen. I can see that already. And we don't want to get down to Matt Corral. We want this dude to have a year's worth of time to develop, and learn from these guys. Sam Darnold's been in the league for a few years. Baker's been in the league for a few years. Let him learn, and let him develop into his own NFL quarterback style. Let him do his own thing, and he will. You just got to give him the time. You can't just put him out there right into the raging waters of Hurricane Katrina. That's what we ended up doing with all these quarterbacks for about 6 years. It just never ended up well. Most of those times ended up being during Saints games too, by the way. Saints games and big games like that. And I hate to use that reference, but it's true. If you want me to use a different reference, I will. But it's true though. You don't want him to be thrown into the fire as a volunteer guy out of the clear blue sky and be like, okay, well, we need you to do this, and this. It's only week 3. We have a horrible history of doing that to quarterbacks when we didn't have a line. So, for all the Matt Corral supporters, that could be a good and a bad thing. So, all I'm saying is, you better hope that line holds up, and you never have to see him. Because if that does happen, I do support Matt Corral, and I hope he does succeed with us. I just don't want him on the field just yet. It's too early. We need a year to develop him. And there's nothing wrong with that. The thing is, we've had all of those things happen. These are patterns. You can't dispute them. They are real. So I'm going to kind of get back into my notes here. And one coverage play in particular that caught my attention was Miles Hartsfield. And I know what people were saying. Because I've had a history of kind of giving this dude tough love over the past year for his coverage issues. And I saw that today and I said, whoa, hold up. Hold up. What did this dude learn in the offseason? Maybe he learned something. Maybe he's improved on it. I'm willing to give this dude some time, man. And a chance to redeem himself, man. Because last year, it wasn't pretty when we put him out there in certain situations. So, if he's learned and he's improved, absolutely, I am all for it. I want to support this dude, man, all the way. Because I love redemption stories. I mentioned that in the last stream, and I'm going to keep saying it. I love redemption stories. Somebody sent it to me in chat. In PMs. Actually, I'm going to go on Panthers website and see if I can find it real quick. Because we do need to know who this is. Transactions. There it is. Devin Jones. Okay. Played at UNC Pembroke. He played 44 games at Pembroke and had 5 interceptions, 23 pass breakups, 3 forced fumbles, and a blocked kick. Which is actually impressive that have happened lately in college. That number's getting smaller as of the last 10 years. These linemen are getting bigger. These people are getting stronger. And you don't see it very often. He also had 2,121 kickoff return yards and 4 kick return yards. Finished with 2,742 all-purpose yards. This tells me this is going to be a return man. Okay? This is going to be a return man. And, is he number 29? What number do we give him? 29. Yeah, that was Melvin's number. So yeah, we gave him Melvin's number, 29. So I thought so. When I saw that 29 in the picture, I was like, wait a second. So I mean, interesting numbers there. Graduate of Lake Norman High School. So that kind of explains that one. I thought there were a handful of good passes by Sam during that 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 drills. Baker had a couple as well. But he also had a lot of overthrows. And one big major underthrow that had me concerned. And all of these were under pressure, but not so much pressure that he felt threatened back there in the pocket. He had a clean pocket in all of these situations. I just want to point this out. Because, I mean, every podcaster I've seen so far that's been praising Baker to the moon or been a major supporter of Baker, it's been like, oh, well, he did all of this with a clean pocket. He did it. Okay, well, if I see a clean pocket and he's screwing up, I'm going to point it out. I would be remiss if I didn't do that. I'm here for the good, the bad, the ugly, and the wily coyote nonsense. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for all of it. You know, I'm going to point out all of it to you. The media only points out the positive stuff, but I'm going to point out all of it. Because all of it's important when you start looking at the quarterbacking competition. Alright, so the O-line looked good today. I'm not going to say great. I'm going to say good. I did see a holding call by my man Brady Christensen on Brian Burns. But here's the thing, though, man. Look how fast and strong Brian Burns is. I mean, how many offensive linemen have had to hold this dude, man, just to keep him out of the backfield? I've seen it a number of times last year. Dude's a Pro Bowler. So I'm not really surprised to see that. But, I mean, it's just one time out of how many drills and snaps, though? You know, so I'm willing to overlook that one. You know, because Brady's been looking solid so far. You know, you rarely ever see this dude have a holding penalty. It's, during regular season play, it's incredibly rare. If any starts from him, you know, as far as penalties go. And for the most part, you know, that's realistically the only thing he really needed to work on. Other than beefing up and just making sure that he stays productive and doing what he's doing. I saw a good pass breakup by Nixon. I think that was Davion Nixon today that did that. Again, I couldn't see the names and numbers, so I might miss on some of these. Alright, folks, I might. There's a strong chance I might. Because, again, they were on that third practice field. That second practice field, my bad. Opposite of the fans. In the grassy knoll. So, a lot of this is going to be... You can't see the names and numbers from where you're looking at on the grassy knoll. Or you're having trouble seeing them. Unless you got some binoculars or you got like a phone or something that zooms in. Which, I mean, I'm tempted to buy like a camera and just like zoom in on it and stuff. But I don't want these staff people to come up to me and be like, no videotaping allowed, you know, nonsense. Come on, man. I'm just taking pictures so I can get the names and numbers. What's wrong with that? Like, what's wrong with that, guys? Come on, no? Oh, would you still take pictures? Yeah. It's a privilege. It's not a right. I want to remind everybody of that. It's a privilege, not a right. And you just took that privilege away from people that were clearly using that. Excuse me for just 1 second. Technical difficulties. There we go. But you took that privilege away and that tool away from people that were really using some of that film to get names and numbers that they would not have normally gotten, such as myself. You know, some of these videos I don't even publish, man. There's at least one video every year that so that's a little frustrating. So if I hit and miss on the names and numbers, I apologize, and if I miss on giving people proper credit or proper tough love that need it, then I apologize on that too. But I'm just trying to straight up tell you, this is what we have to work with. Again, so I believe that was Nixon that had a pass breakup on the 7-on-7 or 11-on-11. And then I saw a that deflection and the interception. Now, I'm going to go looking on social media in a little bit for that deflection and interception. Because I know that was a red zone drill, but I don't remember who caught it. And I don't remember who tipped it. So, and then you saw a nice pass for a touchdown to my man Zalstra. I was very happy with that right there. You know, back of the end zone, looked good. You know, healthy throws. You know, I'm very pleased with that. And I believe that was Sam Darnold that threw those. And I know a lot of people are just like, oh, Sam Darnold ain't it. Sam Darnold ain't it. Now, hold up. Give this man a chance to redeem himself. Everybody deserves that chance. I don't care how big or small you are on that roster, on that 90-man roster. Everybody deserves the chance to redeem themselves. If you run out of chances to redeem yourselves, better luck next time. You know, better luck next year. Because you're probably going to get cut. If you show enough of those issues where you screw up, then yeah. But if you don't, and you show up, and you redeem yourself a number of times, man, them coaches are going to start looking at you, man. They're going to say, 50-50, should we keep trying on this dude? Should we give this guy another shot? You know, maybe do some private workouts, private practices and stuff before we start cutting? Who knows? Who knows, man? You know? Maybe a little throwing after the training camp practices. Who knows? But yeah, I saw a lot of short passing by Sam Darnold. A lot of screen plays. A lot of check downs. You know, a lot of the easy stuff that Sam's been doing like all year long last year. And I mean, it's nothing new, really. I saw one play in particular on that set where there was good pressure by the D-line, and it made Sam just really think about it, man. And it wasn't a screen; it was a legitimate three-step drop, you know, where you had to like scan the field. And I saw that good from I want to say the right side. If you're on the defensive side of the ball and you're looking straight at the offensive line, the right side, I think that's where that pressure came from, and it really put the heat on Sam, which was good. You know, I want these guys to put the heat on him. I want these guys to be put under the Brunson burner. You know, because that's what's going to toughen these guys up. You know, we're going to see who's throwing good balls, who's not under pressure, who you know, who are you under pressure with pads on in training camp? Who are you? We're going to find out real quick. Again, I saw a medium pass to Terrence Marshall Jr. that looked real good. Middle of the field. A couple out routes that looked good. But you had that quick release under heat, you know, under pressure. And that's what we're looking for. That's one of the progress markers that I was looking for and hoping that I would see. So then we got Foreman involved. And I was happy with that because Foreman's had a pretty good practice training camp so far. Thus far. He's put in the work. He's gotten his speed shown, to everybody on Saturday. And, I mean, he's just looking good. I did see one false start. I'm not sure who it was on the offensive line. But I did see the false start. That could have also been that holding call on Brady Christensen. It could have been. Like, I'm not gonna, I'm not entirely 100% sure if it was or not. But I would bet on it. Sam had a good run play where he just ran out of the pocket and got some good yards. And then he had a good throwaway pass, under pressure, nobody open. So he tossed it out of bounds. On the 11-on-11 drills, going down the field with down markers. So I'm happy with that. And I want to make a very, very good observation right now, and a positive one. Robbie Anderson got a deep ball that was thrown perfectly to him. Right in front of him. Caught it. And got the touchdown. Can everybody say, redemption? Not quite yet. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. It's one touchdown pass, in training camp. I need to see more. But that's a good start. That's a real good start right there. To making me eat some crow on this dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Show me more of those. I mean, it's a little early. It's a little early to claim redemption on this dude right now. But I like that touchdown pass, though. And that catch. I liked it. I was like, finally, this man is getting involved and he's catching some balls. That's what I need to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been too long. And everybody's other thought is, where was this catch during the regular season last year? You know what I'm saying? Like, where was this last year when we actually needed it, when it counted? But anyway, I'm going to keep it positive. I think we did a really good job getting that ball to where it needed to go today in camp. So I'm pleased with the short passing and the medium passing right now. The deep passing still needs some work. We're still overthrowing. We're still missing targets. And that comes from both the quarterbacks. I didn't see Matt Corral throw that much, so again, I can't really judge. But then the next 11-on-11 drill, once these guys got their Gatorade, came back out. You had the game crowd simulated noise. And the reason why this is important is, do y'all remember me pointing this out in the last stream? Because I was like, we need some noise. We need something to put the heat on these quarterbacks, and we got it. Okay? We got it. The coaching staff knows what they're doing. And I love that. You know, whoever suggested it, props to them. But we got what we asked for. And it put the pressure on Baker. It put the pressure on Sam. And you really saw what they were made of on those 11-on-11s. They put the heat on them. Alright, so it opened up with a Baker overthrow. And then my man CJ Saunders made a play today during that time. CJ Saunders, shout out to you. Nice catch. So Sam checks one down the middle. Good pass. Yards after the catch. Richie had an excellent play that led to a lot of yards after the catch. I was very pleased with that. And, the O-line looked good. No penalties. No nonsense. Decent pass protection. You saw him stay disciplined. And that's the first time I've seen a Panthers O-line in training camp this early be that disciplined. And I was like, whoa. Because we've never had that. We've never had that for 3 years. Think about that, folks. That's the most positive thing I take out of this training camp day is that O-line being that disciplined. Because that right there is going to lead to a lot of good things. And a lot of people are just going to ignore that and sweep that under the rug. I'm here to tell you, man. Attention to that discipline on that line. It matters that much. Like, if you have discipline on that line, you're not going to cause false starts. You're not going to have holding penalties. You're not going to have missed blocks. If you stay disciplined and you stay to your gaps, you're going to have a successful day. And credit to the O-line coach for that. Great coaching. I think that's the first sign of this O-line coach really putting his foot down on his coaching techniques and say, okay, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, and I want to see some discipline out there. We're tired of the usual clown show business on the offensive line. We're getting down to business here. We're getting down to the nitty gritty in the trenches here, man. You got to step up, or you're gonna be sitting on that bench. Which one are you gonna do? And these guys stepped up today. That's the first sign I've seen of an offensive line in 5 years really get down to business during an 11-on-11 drill without a false start. Props to you. Same to the D-line. Props to you as well. You didn't see any offsides penalties. You didn't see anything, stupid. And I was very, very pleased with that right there. When both your lines are playing that disciplined and clean on an 11-on-11 drill with crowd noise, by the way, I might add, in pads, that's really saying something. Plus the fact that Brian Burns is that intimidating of a pass rusher to where Brady Christensen had to have a holding call later on. before they started the crowd noise. But I mean, I'm willing to overlook that one. You know, because you got neither side was making a mistake. How long has it been since we could say that in training camp? How long? That is definitely the biggest highlight of today. People are going to tell you, oh, the biggest highlight is Robbie Anderson. Nope. No. Although that was a really nice play, I will grant you that. I really did like Robbie Anderson's big touchdown pass, but you know, that wasn't the highlight for me. No. The offensive line and the defensive line having 0 penalties with the crowd noise going on, that is the highlight for me today. That's what we need to see. I need to see more of that. Whether we got crowd noise going on or not, I need to see more of it. And that shows me that these line coaches are doing their job properly. They're getting it done, man. The footwork, the hands, everything is being used correctly. You know, all these teaching techniques are being put into practice. And I love that. I was very pleased to see that right there. Because that's going to lead to a lot of great things. You know, you're going to have proper protection for your quarterback. You're going to have proper lanes open up for your running backs. You're going to have, if you're on defense, you're not going to have offside penalties that back you up 5 yards and give the opposing team 5. You know, you're not going to have all this foolishness that we've had on the lines for the last 3 to 4 years. You know, we're actually using proper techniques now, which makes me very, very enthusiastic about the future of this offensive line. And I'm not even sure that I know the starters look good, but the second stringers look good too on that. You never saw a single one of them commit a single penalty. Except for that, because that's Brian Burns. I mean, come on. It's Brian Burns. He's intimidating. He's like J.J. Watt across the line from you, man. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be intimidated by this dude. If you've only been here for a year, you're going to be... Come on, man. So, I'm willing to throw that one out and say both these lines did an excellent job today. I'm giving props where it's due. Excellent job. Let's see more of that. Let's see more. Don't be satisfied with just one day. Keep it going. I need to see day 2 in a row of that. I need to see day 3, day 4, day 5. On down the line. Keep it going, guys. That's beautiful. Because that's going to translate into preseason. That's going to translate into regular season. And that's going to help us protect these quarterbacks. That's going to help us to get off the field quicker. You know, if you're playing defense. That's good, man. That's very, very good. So, while I love Robbie Anderson getting that touchdown pass, that was cool. You know, I needed to see that too. That was redemption. To a certain degree, he's got a lot more redeeming to do. But, I mean, that's a good start. I need to see a good season from Robbie, man. You can hold me to it. I said a number in the last stream. If he catches that number by the end of the year, I'm going to buy his jersey. Mark my words, I will buy his jersey. Y'all can hold me to it. And I think that's a fair number, man. Because I want to see this dude redeem himself. I want to see everybody succeed. And things like that are beautiful on this team. That's what I come out here for in these training camp days, to see stuff like that. You know, y'all know what I mean. That's what I come here to see. I also saw some really good run defense on the left side on one particular play. I forget who the running back was, you know, and again, this was on the other practice field, so I couldn't get the numbers and the names. But I did see some really good run defense on that particular play where you shut him down to about 3 yards max, you know, on that outside sweep. And that's exactly what we're looking for, is that type of run defense, because we have been missing that all year long last year. And we need more of that. Alright, so credit to the defense on that run stop. I was really pleased with that. And I hadn't seen that up until that point so far in training camp. But, you know, and that's not a slight against our run defense. That's just how good CMC really is. And how good our running backs are too, you know. You know, it's not a slight against them right now. I just want to make that perfectly clear. As I said before, we got some deep balls that are overthrown. But overall, Sam looked good today. Quick, decisive ball throwing. You know, when it's short passing, he knows exactly where he wants to go with it. He knows exactly what he wants to do with it. And, I mean, that comes after a year's experience, you know, with the guys on this team that are veterans already. And it comes with the proper protection of the line. And it also comes with a offensive game plan, you know, that centers around early checkdowns, you know, in training camp, in basic plays. So, you like to see that. Keith Kirkwood had yards after the catch on one particular play. I was very happy with that. Again, Sam continued to just drive down the field with pressure, checking the ball down, and he did start chucking moonshots, man. He did. I give him credit. He did start chucking moonshots down the field. But we got to get those more accurate. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of those were just overthrown or just not there. So you got some work to do there, Sam. But, you know, and I'm not sliding you, bro. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know. You still got a couple things to work on, bro. But I got you, though. I'm giving you the credit you deserve. You had a good day today, and I'm happy with it. Baker did have a few interceptions, but he also had some good throws too. You know, give him credit for the good throws. And I believe it was Sam that had that 50-50 ball that he chucked up to the end zone. And that was pretty much right at the end of practice. Oh, excuse me. Lack of sleep tonight, but you know. Yeah, I was really happy with the fact that that was a catchable ball. You know, that was reachable. That was a catchable 50-50 ball. Yeah, and this is after he got flushed out of the pocket. You know, so good pressure by the defense. That's what that tells you there. Either or the fact that Sam just decided, I'm just gonna roll out. You know, one of the two is true there, and I didn't really get a good look at the pressure, to be honest. But you can infer that. You know, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be good pressure on the defense. But yeah, he rolled out, stayed out there for a good 2 to 3 seconds, found his man. And I was like, for the 50-50 ball attempt. And I was like, okay. You know, when in doubt, try the 50-50. You never know. Play the lottery, man. With some of these wide receivers, you play in the lottery when you chuck down those 50-50s, man. And I was like, all right. You know, because it was a catchable ball. It honestly was. So, you know, credit to Sam Darnold for knowing that he had that 50-50 shot right there and just giving it a try. You don't know what's going to happen. Unless you really, really know your wide receivers and you are fairly certain that ball is going to get caught, then, you know, it's a true 50-50 ball that he chucked down there at the end of practice. And, frankly, I liked it. I liked what I saw from Sam today. And I know the Baker Mayfield supporters are not going to want to hear that, but Sam had a good day today. Now, just because, and vice versa, it could go either way. This competition is still wide open. Wide open. This ain't going to be over until the end of preseason. I can guarantee you that. And you'll get a real good taste of this quarterback competition during preseason games. That's when we start really determining, okay, versus live opponents, who did what, right? This, did they do that? You know, start checking the boxes during preseason games. Right now, we just want to see if they're developing correctly. I'm more focused on that offensive line. I'm more focused on that secondary. You know, during training camp, I want to see some picks, man. I want to see the secondary step up. The fact that you're seeing picks is not because of the quarterbacks failing to do their job. It's because the secondary is stepping up. Okay, let me make that perfectly clear. Now, yes, these quarterbacks are throwing some picks into traffic with good protection. I will grant you that. Both of these quarterbacks have done that at some point or another in this past week. But it's the secondary that has to step up and say, I'm going to catch these. And Louvu caught one today. Credit to Louvu. I love this guy. I love Louvu. I was waiting on this dude to make a play, man. I was waiting on it. Why have I not called this man's name yet? I was like, where is he? Show up, bro. He did not disappoint today. He showed up and he caught that interception, and I was going, yes, that's my dude right there. That's my dude. I was like, it is just a matter of time till that dude knocks one down or catches a pick. It's just a matter of time. I was like, wait for it. If it don't happen today, it's going to happen tomorrow. when I'm out there. Watch him get a pass deflection tomorrow. I guarantee you, he'll either get a pass deflection or he'll have a shot at a pick tomorrow. The way this pattern is rolling right now, I can see it. He's already caught that one pick. And if I know Luvu at all, if I know Frankie at all, man, I know this man's not satisfied with just that. Oh no. Oh no. This man had a spectacular training camp season last year. I was watching him, like, defending stuff left and right last year. I was like, this man is a dog. You don't want to throw it near him. You just don't. And I'll tell you who the real dog is on this secondary right now, and that's Dante Jackson. This dude is improved on coverage. And if I was going to pick a weakness for Dante last year, it was coverage. And he has stepped up in training camp thus far. I want to see him in live action in preseason. I want to see if this dude is really going to continue that trend into preseason. And if he can keep going with that through all 3 preseason games, that'll translate into the regular season, and you're going to see this man ball out this year. You're going to see him ball out. I can see a good year from this dude, man. Whether we got 7 wins on the board or not. You know, whether we got 9 wins or 10 wins on the board, I don't care what that number looks like. If this dude continues playing like he has been playing in training camp right now, he is going to ball out this year. Because I'm seeing a very, very positive pattern. And this is what I want to see from everybody. Make that competition tough for these coaches, man. Make them earn their stripes. You know, I like this guy, but you know, he's got such a high ceiling though, but this other guy is really great too, but you know. Now here's my question for all the Panthers players on this roster. What are you going to do to eliminate that word but and everything that follows after that? What are you going to do? How are you going to redeem yourself when you screw up? How are you going to push yourself past those glass ceilings that people have set for you? These stigmas, man. How are you gonna surpass that? That is up for you to decide. You set your own goals. You get it done. You know, it's like being in a weight room. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you satisfied with this many reps? No. You want this many reps, don't you? And you ain't gonna stop till you get them. If it takes 5 days, if it takes 10 days, if it takes 15 days, you're going to get there. That battle does not stop. And I'm going to tell you what, along the way, you're going to get swole. You're going to get swole. You're going to look at yourself in the mirror after you hit that goal and you're going to say, where did this back come from? You know what I'm saying? Where did these muscles come from? I didn't have those a month ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all follow Shaq Thompson and Christian McCaffrey and Brian Bird's work ethic, man. And DJ Moore. Follow their work ethic. I'm telling you, you will not go wrong. These dudes are dogs. They have worked. They have earned it. They have put in the blood, sweat, and tears every year. And I mean, it is starting to pay off. If you've been watching these guys during training camp so far, you can tell it's been paying off. None of these men are about to lose their job. They're not about to lose those scraps off the table. Nah, dog. Nah. They are not about to lose their jobs. Not even close. Every year they just keep getting better. And that's the name of the game. Because the older you get as a player, the more these rookies are going to get hungrier, man. They're going to want that job even more. They're going to push even harder. And their bodies are going to start wearing out. You know, little by little, they're going to wear out. And then these guys are eventually going to start passing you out on a couple of things. And those little things turn into big things. And those big things turn into, okay, now we got a competition on our hands. Are you going to retire? You know? So, that's what I'm saying. Take advantage of these bum years while you can. These young years. Because you're not going to have them later on. Take advantage of that time that you have in those dorm rooms with these guys. You know, building chemistry, because you're not going to have that a month from now. You're not going to have that opportunity a month from now. Yeah, you're going to be traveling with these teams, you know, on the road. But you're not, when you're at home, you're going to have that opportunity. Take advantage of it. Use that to get to know these guys, man. Like, I love all these small things that they do, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't say it publicly, but, you know, very often. But the singing competition, stuff like that, y'all may not think that's important. You know, but it connection with your teammates and the people around you. And those connections lead to great friendships that last for many, many years. I mean, I kept thinking back to, like, that linebacker duo, you know, Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly. And if you heard Thomas Davis's Hall of Fame speech, it really stood out to me, because he's just like, well, I didn't know really what to do, you know, and then I started doing all this stuff with my teammates, and then I built a chemistry with these guys, you know, and that chemistry became a great friendship that lasted into retirement, you know, and is still there even today. And that's a beautiful thing. So cherish that time, man. That's what I'm saying. If you're a player, cherish that time, because it's beautiful. You don't get that opportunity once you're retired, you know, with your family and sitting back in your comfy chair, you know. Take advantage of that time. Get to know these guys, man. It's worth it. Yeah, and Baker wasted no time doing exactly that. Even before he signed those papers, to me, that speaks volume. You never saw that stuff from Sam Darnold. But there's always the next day, right? There's always another opportunity. And that's what I'm saying to these guys. Please do it. Please do it. I love the chemistry that I've seen so far. It's made me very happy. You know, I was at day 1, I was at day 4, and now I was at day 6. So that's 3 days out of this training camp. System so far that I've been through. And I've just kind of watched them develop. You know, it's been beautiful, man. You know, these guys are pushing their boundaries. They're really trying. They're really trying to make these competitions deep and meaningful. They really do want the best 53-man roster. You can feel the energy from these training camps. You can feel that that's exactly what they're trying to do. And I love it. You know, we haven't had a 90-man roster that really has pushed themselves as much as this crew has so far in the last few years, in my opinion. No, these guys went straight after it. They didn't hesitate. They went straight after it. And that's what made me happy. That's what I'm looking for. You know, I want these decisions to be tough for these coaches. I want them to be tough. I want these people to earn their paychecks, you know. I want these guys to come out here and ball out. You know, don't be complacent. Ball out. And a lot of these players that I pointed out in this past week have done exactly that. They have balled out. And shout out to every single one of them that I have called out in positive ways this week. That's what I want to see more of. Because that's what's going to build a beautiful 53-man roster that we can be proud of. You know, we can take into the regular season and win games with. You know, that's that competitive fire that I've been preaching about, man. You look around at this team right now. You can see it in the veteran leaders. You can see it in Brian Burns. You can see it in Shaq. In the conversations that people have had with Shaq. You can see it in DJ Moore. You can see it in a number of these players, man. And I'm sitting there like, this is what we need. And it started with bringing Wilkes back, man. I really do believe that this year. It started with that. It's a culture change. It started with breaking in that new offensive line coach, you know, that new defensive line coach, and really setting the tone. Taking out all of the mistakes, you know, and setting the bar for what we're trying to do. Honing in on those little mistakes. You know, the hands, the footwork, the little things that turn into big things that can help you win games. And that 11 on 11 today showed us exactly that. It showed us exactly what these guys have been learning and honing in on. This is why you never saw any false starts. This is why you never saw any offsides penalties. This is why you saw decent protection from the offensive line. This is why you saw a decent pass rush from the defensive line, balancing each other out. That's exactly what we're looking for. And both of them bringing the heat. Now, as you go along this week, you're going to see that them go back and forth, trading. You know, trading successes. You know, the pass rush is going to win one drill. The offensive line is going to win the next one. You know, that's what you should expect to see out of a successful, balanced line on both sides. You know, when they balance each other out, that's a win for your entire team. And if you can continue to do that on a consistent basis, that will translate into successful situations where you can start to win games. And if you can continue to have days like this, with crowd noise, I might add, you know, that's going to lead to a lot of success. This is why I'm very pleased with this. And it's going to get so overlooked Like, nobody's going to pay any attention to that. But it makes all the difference in the world. That's the key to your success, is the lines. You know, you've watched so many training camp practices, and you just think, well, this person won this drill, this person won this drill. But when you win as a unit, that's when you know you're making progress. And both of these lines won today. That's making progress. And I'm very excited to see that. That's my biggest highlight for today, is the lines. Other people are going to say Robbie Anderson. They're going to say Brian Burns. They're going to say Frankie Louvu. Nah. For me, it's the lines on that 11-on-11 drill. Because that's what we've been looking for so long. 4 years straight of just having false starts, offside penalties, holding calls during training camp, you know, going into week 2. This year, you don't see that. And this is exactly what you're expecting to see going into week 2. They're starting to hone this stuff in. They're starting to rein themselves in and stop shooting themselves in the foot. You know, like Brian Burns just said, there's no excuses for any of that stuff anymore. If you're a 3-year veteran or plus, there's no excuse for that. He's holding them accountable. And I say bravo. Bravo to Brian Burns right there. Because that's exactly what you want. You know? And today, none of these guys had to be called out. That's a good thing. That's a very, very good thing. That's a good sign that all that coaching is settling in. All those techniques, everything is settling in. And I know everybody's going to be hyper-focused on that quarterback battle. Forget that for a second. Put that on the back burner for about 5 seconds. And just watch the lines. That's what I want people to do tomorrow. I want y'all to watch the lines. I'm looking for little things like technique. I'm looking for footwork. I'm looking for hands. I'm looking for little things that could be, you know, potentially good or bad for us. Because that's going to turn into habits. You know, if we have another one of those 11-on-11 drills where everything clicks on both lines like it did today, come on, man. Keep it going. Keep it going. Because it goes into the preseason, it translates into the regular season, you start to win games. Your quarterback stays healthy. You know? And it only gets more stronger from there. It only gets better from there. You know, and shout out to all the successes that these quarterbacks have had today because of that. And I was very pleased with that. You know, you even got to see a deep ball to Robbie Anderson today. You wouldn't have gotten to see that if that line hadn't been stacked up and doing their job properly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the biggest win for today is everybody stayed healthy. Everybody stayed healthy. I didn't hear about a single injury today with pads, either yesterday or today. That is a huge win. Every day that you have a camp day with no injuries, that's a massive win. So, and the second massive win is those lines being solid. Third massive win, you start to see these players break out with big plays. You know, DJ Moore doing what he does, Dante Jackson doing what he does. You know, it frees these guys up to do what they do. You know, and when you got that type of chemistry going, great things happen. and you start to see that on a consistent basis, that's when you know you've really made progress as a team. And credit to the coaching staff, all that stuff is sinking in. It's beautiful. You know, we still got some work to do on these interceptions and the little things, you know. With proper protection, you know, we gotta work on that one. We gotta work on the run defense. I do see that as still an issue. I think if we get that under control, then we'll really be moving. You know what I'm saying? And I saw one snippet of it today. Good run defense on a sweep play, where I forget who that running back was again, because I didn't get a number or a name, but it was a sweep play to the right, and that defense was not fooled. They all went over there and they shut that thing down. That's what we need more of. You know, if we can start. Again, I will say this. I think the offensive line is more run blocking heavy than pass blocking heavy at this point. And you want to see a 50-50 balance of both. And CMC would be the bonus. You know, that would get us those extra yards, get us those extra first downs, get us those extra plays that you didn't think any of these other guys could get. You know, aside from maybe DJ Moore. And I'll mention this again. I said this in the video. If you want to succeed in the quarterback battle, build a chemistry with DJ. If you get reps with this dude, take advantage of every one of them that you can get. Because, I mean, it's going to make you look good. DJ can make any quarterback in our battles look good. Doesn't matter if it's Teddy Bridgewater, if it's Sam Darnold, if it's Baker, if it's Matt Corral, PJ, doesn't matter. He will make every one of them look good. You know, so take advantage of those reps. If that man is open, throw it to him. And I'm not saying tunnel vision on DJ, but I'm saying at least 2 or 3 throws to this man per set will make you look good. You know, whether you've had a good or bad day, it will make you look good. You know, and kind of lean on that as kind of your safety blanket if you're having a bad day as a quarterback, that particular training camp day, because he will help you out. And I'll say the same thing about CMC. Lean on that, you know, but don't get him injured. You know, don't stretch him out too far. Don't make him go after balls that he's not supposed to go after. You know, rein that thing in. You know, check downs is probably the best thing for CMC right now. Let him do the work after that. Yards after the catch. You know, that's what he's good at. Use these guys for their skills. What they're good at. And let them do the work for you. You know? If you're throwing to Robbie on a deep pass, use that skill set. Throw it right in front of him. Put it in his breadbasket. Don't let him break stride. Put that thing right in his breadbasket and let him do the work for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of stuff I would like to see out of these quarterbacks in this quarterback battle. You know, if you end up overthrowing it, you know, with a clean pocket, that's going to make you look bad. You know, if you end up throwing a pick into double or triple coverage with no pressure on you, that's going to make you look bad. You know, think. Think before you throw. Okay? Don't have tunnel vision. Go through your reads. Don't have tunnel vision. That's my tip for these quarterbacks. That's my suggestion. And I know that this is going to sound like yet another couch quarterback or yet another couch Panthers fan, but still, I'm telling the truth because I'm real here. I'm trying to help y'all. I'm not just trying to say it just to say it. I'm not. And everybody here in this crew knows that this is real talk. Like, all I'm trying to do is help these guys. If I gotta throw tough love at them, I gotta throw tough love at them. That's what it is. But I give credit where it's due all the same. But that advice will hold steady. I'm telling you. For this quarterback room right now. That and never settle. Okay? Never settle. Keep setting those bars. Keep reaching them. Whatever they may be. Once you're done with a certain set of goals, keep going. Don't ever settle. Don't ever sleep on those goals. You only have so many days of this training camp to use that time. Use it wisely. Don't waste it. Be smart. And every day is a new opportunity. If you failed one day, come back out the next day. Succeed where you failed. Redeem yourself. And it's that fighting spirit within every one of these players that's going to get that's going to weed out the best ones from the weak ones. If you got that fire in your belly, it's going to be weeded out from the weak ones. I guarantee it. You watch these guys for long enough, it will show up. Because the ballers are going to show up. The ones that are just camp bodies are just going to be camp bodies at that point. And these coaches know this by now. They've been doing this long enough. They're not just going to sit there and go, I still don't know. This dude's been chucking up some bombs here, but, no. That might be Matt Rule, but it's not everybody else on this coaching staff, all right? That might be Matt Rule for a second there. But we got Scott Fitterer out there checking out the lines, though. And when the big dog comes out to look at the lines, you better step up your game. Because you're about to get cut if you don't. And maybe that's why they look so good today. I don't know, man. I give Scott Fitterer his due. He's been amazing as far as picking up the right people for us to use on this roster and gets the most out of it. Gets the most out of the money that we're spending and the picks that we're trading. Minus the Teddy Bridgewater, minus the Sam Darnold, of course. But, otherwise, how can you really say anything that goes against that at this point? Like, I would struggle to find anything negative that doesn't support that. So, I'm going to say this, and I didn't say it on the other two podcasts, but I was very close to saying it. We have one more year before we can really make a solid ironclad push for the playoffs and be a competitive playoff team. One more year of development. Y'all have heard me say this on stream, but I'm gonna say it for the newcomers that are YouTubers as well. We got one more year. We fill out that depth. I'm telling you. We could rule the South with an iron fist. Think about it, folks. Brady will be gone after next year. He already signed that ESPN contract. He's going to be gone. I don't see him coming back. I don't see him pulling a Brett Favre. Maybe y'all do, but I don't see it. Gronk still could. So, I mean, be aware of that. But, as far as I know, he hasn't signed anything like that. So, he can still pull that Brett Favre nonsense. But, you know, Matt Ryan's gone from Atlanta. That's one of the major threats. Ridley got caught, you know, and got in trouble for, like, betting and stuff like that on games. So, he's gone. You know, you ain't got to worry about him for a while. Julio Jones, maybe you'll see a threat from him in the next few years. But, I mean, what, man? We got Dante Jackson. We got J.C. Horn. We got a great corner crew. I'm not even worried about it. You know? Yeah, he burned us a few times, but how scary is he really right now in comparison to the rest of the South? That's really our only threat. Think about that. Kamara's gone. Breeze is gone. He retired. Who is going to hold us down? Nobody. What, Winston's going to hold us down? I don't think so. Julio Jones is going to hold us down? I don't think so. Come on, man. One more year of development. If y'all are willing to wait that long and get the players that we need at linebacker, in offensive line depth, maybe another wide receiver, get this quarterback situation settled. For those of you that don't like Matt Rule, maybe we get another head coach that really knows what he's doing. We've got Scott Fitterer, you know. We've got Wilkes back. I mean, there's a lot to like right now about our future right now. There's a lot. And maybe Sam Darnold isn't the guy. Maybe, you know, maybe Matt Corral might be the guy. We don't know yet. We got to settle this quarterback issue. But once we get everything settled and people start taking us seriously, and once Brady retires, this division is ours to lose for the next 3 years until they find replacements, which is going to be real tough to do. In those 3 years where we don't have to worry about these division opponents anymore, think about the damage we could do. We could be playoff competitors. We could take our shot at the Lombardi again with that much time in development. I mean, the sky's the limit. All we have to do is wait one more year. If y'all are willing to sit on a 7-win year next year, and get into that top 10 draft picks again, make sure we get our solid man on every round. You know, don't miss. And Scott won't miss. I can guarantee you that. He will not miss. It's very rare. You know, he came up to the Seattle scouting department, so, you know, he's not going to miss. It'll be a rare blue moon if that ever happens. One more year, though. Watch and see what I'm telling you. We will rule the South with an iron fist, and I will go on any podcast and I will shout it to the moon. I will. I feel that confident that we are that close to building a winning team that is going to be a consistent winner. I feel it. I feel it. We're that close. It's not going to be this year, but you're going to see it in the stats. You might not see it on the scoreboard. You might not see it in the record books, but you're going to see it in the stats. You're going to see it in the form of Brian Burns. You're going to see it in the form of DJ Moore. You're going to see it in the form of Luvu. You're going to see it in the form of Hecker. You're going to see it in the form of Christian McCaffrey again. The numbers he should have been putting up if he could stay healthy the whole year. But that turf ain't going to help. You got to get rid of that turf. I'm trying to tell you. And Tepper, you cannot tell me with the billions of dollars that you are making right now, you are the fourth richest owner in the third richest owner in the NFL, actually. I saw that list earlier. It was the Seahawks and the Broncos owners that are more rich than he is right now, but not by much. But you gonna tell me, as a hedge fund manager, with that much money, you can't maintain a grass field? Man, get that Barnum and Bailey nonsense out of here, man. Get that Barnum and Bailey nonsense out of here. The soccer players have said they don't like that. They want grass. The football players have said that they want grass. And I mean, your most vocal leader on that defense right now, Shaq, has just told you he wants grass. Come on, Mr. Tepper. Please do the right thing. I have said multiple times on multiple streams, prevent the preventable injuries. This is how you start doing it. You gotta get rid of the turf. Turf causes injuries. I mean, I've had multiple discussions with people on that. And none of them have ended well. You know, where they all agree with me. And I'm going to tell you something. Okay. I know a few marching band people, okay? And the marching band people and the flag people are the ones that are going to be the most vocal about this, because they got to go out there and they got to do all these drills. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They got to do all these flag drills. They got to march in certain formations and stuff like that. And one of my family members actually was one of them back in the day, and had to go out during one of these bowl games, you know, during the halftimes, on turf, in those like shoes that they have. And you want to talk about how much pain that was? I mean, you're talking rolled ankles. You're talking like all kinds of stuff, man. All kinds of stuff. And if that happens with just marching band people and flag people, imagine what that does to players that you are paying millions and millions of dollars to, of your own pocket money, Mr. Tepper, that you are getting from us fans who are buying your merch, who are buying your tickets, who are buying your food and beers and whatever else in these stands, collectibles, whether online or at the stadium. We are paying that money. You know, especially the PSLs. God, the PSLs. Those things get astronomical sometimes. And let's not forget the people that live in Charlotte outside of that stadium that pay for that stadium with Charlotte tax dollars to maintain that stadium. I just want to mention that. They are required by law to pay for that. This is an insult to every one of these people, man. Because they're not going to want to come to games if all their players are hurt. They're not going to want to come and buy your merch. They're not going to want to come and buy your PSLs. Nah, dog. When you say people like JC Horn and CMC hurt all the time, why should we come to games when we know we're not going to win? You know, there's no point. Why spend the money when we're in a recession right now? Nobody wants to talk about that right now, but we are. It's the truth. Who's going to spend money on a doggone football team that can't win? I mean, look at Detroit right now. I don't know how those people keep filling those stands. I swear to God, I don't. It amazes me even to this day why people still come out to these Lions games even though they know the Lions are going to suck. It blows my mind. But, you know, point being, even they have enough sense to know that their players are going to get hurt if they put turf out there. I mean, these are solid points. You can't refute them. Look at the injury history numbers for players that play on turf compared to grass. You could ask any European soccer person and they will tell you there is no benefit to having turf compared to grass other than your lazy mentality of not wanting to maintain that grass. Point being, you're not saving any money. You're losing money. If you think about it on a business sense, you're losing money, bud. I'm trying to help you. We're all trying to help you here, man. You got to wake up and see the light on this one. This is the only issue I've ever had with Tepper so far. Mind you. This is the only one I'm actually going to take up for the players on. And say, this is not good. This is not healthy. And I'm not trying to start a war between the players and the coaches or the GMs or the owners. None of that. I'm just trying to get this franchise back on track with my suggestions. And if you take them, you take them. If you don't, you don't. You know, that's up to you. You know, I'm just a simple man just running a podcast. I'm just a simple fan. I don't see myself as bigger than what I am. I'm just trying to help you. You either want that help or you don't. That's your choice. You know, please take the advice of somebody that has an associate's degree in business, man. Come on, please. I'm begging you. Your players will thank you. All your players will thank you. For real. And mind you, Shaq does not put out tweets very often. I've never seen Shaq put out tweets. But in this one particular case, he did. And it was about something important, man. And mostly this dude is just more vocal in the locker room or on the field. You know? And I would encourage him to be more vocal in the press conferences, you know, and stuff like that. Because, you know, that whole thing of what he learned from Luke and Thomas Davis. Beautiful, by the way. Beautiful statements. I mean, I'm in full support and awe of what he said there in that interview. I can't get enough of it. I love it. You know, that's what we need more of on this team, is like the leaders getting more vocal like that. You know, that's the positive examples we need. And I'm going to say this on behalf of the YouTubers, you know, I had an opportunity to complain about the videotaping stuff twice on 2 different live streams, but I didn't do it. Why? For 2 simple reasons. 1, I'm trying to promote my channel. 2, I'm trying to promote positivity about this team. I'm trying to show what this team is doing right now. I'm trying to point out stuff that people haven't listened to before, or haven't heard before, rather. I'm trying to point out players that people wouldn't normally point out, like maybe Cade Mays, you know, or maybe Barno, you know. No one's really talking about these guys. And that's exactly why I wanted to do this. You know, and take that time in the correct way. You know, that's responsible, that's humble, that's, you know, not bigoted, but respectful. You know, and promote positivity and promote the players that we need to promote and get back down to business, you know, when it comes to training camp. And get back to business as usual for this channel. And I'm going to be real with you. I had about two or 3 days last week where I just was not myself. And I know a lot of people don't know that. But I was really down. And it started with that mess with the videotaping. That was the first domino that really started the ball rolling, to where I started becoming a lot less antisocial. A lot more antisocial and staying off of social media and just not talking to people. But once I got on this podcast, it made me feel like, okay, hey, business as usual, I got to get back to work. You know what I mean? I got to get back to it. Back to where I need to be. Mentally, physically, and emotionally. To where I can get you the best information that you can do something with. Regardless of whether we get those videos or not. You know? And that's what I wanted to focus on during that time. This weekend. Was getting back to that state of mind. And that's why I went on those 2 podcasts, is I was like, okay, let's get back to it. Okay, what players can I promote? What can I do to show up, you know, and represent my channel in the proper way? What can I do to make us look good as a crew? And the answer was right there in front of me. Start promoting the players that we haven't promoted before. Point blank, it's that simple. You know? Promote positivity. Promote the positive things that have been going on with this team. It's that simple. So that's exactly what I did. I spent that time. When they allowed me to speak, I used that time wisely. And mind you, I could have taken both of those opportunities and went on 30-minute rants about the videotaping stuff on either one of those live streams, and I didn't do it. Because that's not what this channel is. Point blank, that's not who we are. That's not who I am. And once I recognized that, I said, whoa, pump the brakes. Let's get back to work. So instead, I started promoting like crazy. I started doing what I do best. I started talking to some of these players. I started getting this channel's name out there. And the results speak for themselves. You know, I'm very pleased at how this week has turned back around. And what we're trying to accomplish here. As a crew. Like, I held everybody's views, you know, on this in my mind. For sure. You don't know how tempted I was to go on those 30-minute rants. You don't know. The few people that I actually messaged during that time period, they know how tempted I was. They know how close I was to just saying, okay, I'm shutting this training camp stuff down. I'm not going to do that, though. Because y'all deserve better than that. Every one of y'all deserves better than that. Y'all deserve this coverage. Y'all deserve this hard work. Y'all deserve everything that I'm doing for y'all. Because you have given back to me. Over all this time. You have pushed me to be a better YouTuber. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you that has done that. Because you're all amazing people. Amazing human beings that are in this crew. Every one of y'all. Like, if I met every one of y'all, I would give each one of y'all a hug. Right now. Just to thank you for that right there. You know, for all the views, all the subs, all the follows, all the beautiful things that you said in chat. You know, all the thoughtful debates that have created good conversation and solutions that this team can use to succeed with. Like, that's who we are. That's who we are, guys. And I just want each and every one of y'all to know I'm so blessed and thankful. And I know y'all don't hear that from many YouTubers, but you know when I say stuff, I'm real. Like, I'm not gonna patty cake. I'm not gonna blow smoke. When I say I feel blessed to have each and every one of you here. Y'all know I mean it. With the bottom of my heart. Right here, man. And I got a chance to meet David, you know, in this past 2 weeks. And having that conversation with him, just, it reignited my fire to do what I'm doing. It reminded me of why I do what I do on these streams and making these videos for you. So I just want to say shout out to him. Shout out to everybody that's been so helpful over all this time and made this channel what it is. Y'all are incredible. I'm sorry to get a little sappy there, but you know. You know, I love y'all, man. I do. But I feel like with any of the players that are checking this out, man, I just want to say you're incredible human beings as well. And we are blessed to have the opportunity to come out there and say hi to you and get autographs and shake your hand and whatever have you, you know? It's truly a blessing that this franchise has given us to be able to do that. And if I've said your name in a positive light, know that you have earned it. You've earned my respect. You've earned this community's respect here. And, you know, you've done the little things right. And you put in the work, you know, to earn their respect as well. And earn their love. We don't buy these jerseys just for nothing, man. We buy these things for you guys. Because we care about y'all that much, man. Not just on the field, but off the field as well, man. Y'all are awesome people. And I would gladly sit down and eat lunch with any of y'all and have a conversation with you. Any of you. Seriously. That includes management too. Scouts, whatever have you. Whoever's watching, And that's saying something, man. Not many YouTubers can say that they would be able to do that. And feel comfortable doing it. Because I'm going to tell y'all, there's some crazy people on the internet. There's some crazy people in these fan bases, man. I'm not going to lie to you. But the fact that our community is that tight-knit and just really love and respect each other that much and are that chill, and willing to debate people and have a clean, happy conversation with people. That's so beautiful. I lost track, man. We need to take a look at training camp day number 5, man. That's what we need to do, because I wasn't out there for day 5. And honestly, they did change up that back together Saturday time to 11 a.m. because of the thunderstorms. So I wasn't out there for day 1. I know CMC had some good plays happening yesterday. That's what I've heard. But beyond that, let's check the news. Maybe there'll be something in there. Maybe we'll check some of these tweets, huh? Oh, the other biggest thing that we got today was J.C. Horn coming back. That was awesome. To finally see him in a uniform today was awesome. Steve Smith says he's ready for the emotions of Sam Mills going to the Hall of Fame. So are the rest of us, bro. So are the rest of us, man. I can imagine the waterworks right now going on when that happens. Yeah, that's crazy, man. He's going to be the first Panthers Hall of Famer. Think about that, y'all. Wow. Doesn't that hit y'all like a truck, man? I know it does me. Wow. Akeem working to earn his spot. Love to see that right there. I mean, as good as that offensive line has been today, I think, he's going to be really working to earn that spot. Because I saw success on both the first string and the second string offensive line today. A lot of success. Let's see. Come on, give me some stuff. Oh, there we go. Live updates. That's what I want. That's what I want, y'all. I'm gonna let that load up. But, for those that are just joining in, I do feel like Sam won today's battle. But, I mean, this is just today. Again, this competition is going to be ongoing through preseason. We don't know. All right, so we got CMC. Let's check this out. All right, now I want y'all to see the gap in the offensive line right here that he just ran through. And this is opened up by Bozeman here. Look at this gap. I mean, have y'all seen a gap that big being opened up on the running game in training camp in the last 3 years? That's a beautiful thing right there. That's what we want. And I'm going to be real with you. I saw a number of good runs from these running backs in the last few days of videos that I was sent and the actual times that I was out there watching these guys. Darnold said it's natural for him and Mayfield to cheer for each other as they have done so far. Mostly they're cheering for the offense as a whole. Good. You know, but this competition has been utterly civil on every level. Okay. I don't really want to listen to Sam Darnold, do you? Mayfield asked about trash talking Shaq Thompson and Dante Jackson via text. You don't pick out the weak link. You go straight for the head. Oh! Shaq says, needs work on this part of the game, but Dante will keep the conversation going. Alright. Mayfield also not touching Watson questions, saying it's none of his business. Correct answer. Again, I touched on that at the beginning of the stream. Correct answer. It's not his business. You know, he's not playing Watson. He's playing the Browns defense. He's got to prepare for them. And his focus is getting caught up to speed here. Exactly. Like, that's the correct answer. The only correct answer you should give. You know, why focus on that? You're wasting your time, you know? It's like a rocking chair. You rock for 100 years, but you don't get anywhere. Right? Why focus on what doesn't need to be focused on? Focus on what you can control. You control the output. You know? Mayfield admits the grasp of the Panthers offense isn't second nature yet, but it feels more comfortable in the last week, as you might imagine. If we do look at some of these press conferences, then I'll take out some time for it in the next stream, maybe, when I'm feeling it. Rule not commenting on the Watson suspension, which would keep him out of the opener against the Browns, saying he's not talking about someone on the other teams. I mean, honestly, that's Matt Rule following his way of doing things. He's never talked about players on other teams. That's nothing new right there. Especially during training camp, you need to be focused on your team. So, I mean, right answer. Again, like, that's, in my opinion, right answer. Asked about O-line reps, Rule emphasizes they're talking about the long view. Don't need to read too much into reps now. Okay. Fair enough. Honestly, I'm going to read into them because that's just how I am. But, you know, again, it's Matt Rule saying it, so yeah, take it for what it is. You know, Sam Darnold ran with the first today, Baker Mayfield with the second. Matt Rule said that it will be flipped tomorrow, similar how the reps were split early last week. I think that's a fair way of doing this. You split the reps. You flip flop them, flip flop them, flip flop them, flip flop them until you find your winner. Once you start seeing, for the first week you could do that. Second week you need to start setting some patterns. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would like to see Baker have like 2 days worth with the starters, and then the next 2 days make it Sam Darnold. Let's see if you can get some patterns going. You're not going to do that by flip-flopping, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's not how that works, Pat. With all due respect, man, that's not how that works. You're not going to see any of those patterns doing that. But, if that's how you want to run your team, man, that's how you want to run your team. I mean, you're head coach right now. So, I'm not going to argue with it. Because there's no point. You're with a dead horse. Honestly. You're arguing with a brick wall. There ain't no point. Darnold was 1s today. Mayfield with 2s. Okay. So we already saw that. Rule said Horn is dealing with a little soreness and is mostly doing individual. That was the plan for him. And I did see that actually today. I saw him do a little bit of one-on-ones today. But mostly they kept him out of the 11-on-11s and stuff like that. So he was very limited. I love that. Hollywood Higgins, baby. I see you, Higgins. Let's go, man. I mean, Higgins is having a really great training camp. He is taking full advantage of this year's camp and said, I want a roster spot, After that major injury of the hospital ball from P.J. Watson last year, it's so encouraging to see Higgins just take full advantage of that shot and really ignite his opportunities in the right direction. It's so encouraging. I mean, that's a real Hollywood story right there, That's a beautiful story. Okay, and another to Marshall, now to a red zone period. And there was somebody that actually pointed out on one of the podcasts, oh, we're finally doing red zone drills. Yes, finally. Do y'all remember who actually pointed out the fact that we weren't? Teddy Bridgewater. I just want to say that. Finally we're doing some red zone drills, and it makes me happy to see it. Because these guys are finally starting to realize, this is critical. You can't win games without the red zone drills. You just can't. And last year was a good example of why that is. How many times did we score in the red zone last year? Find me a number. Because it's not real high. Baker Mayfield with a couple. Oh, excuse me. Baker Mayfield with a couple of nice completions in play action period. First to Terrace Marshall and into Steven Sullivan. Again, TMJ making some plays, man. I love it. TMJ has had a consistently good training camp so far. He's making his case, man. He is really making his case. Steven Sullivan is really battling right now. I love this wide receiver battle right now. It's really heating up. And Shi Smith even made a few plays, man. You know, I think Shi's probably going to be the third man out. But I do like what I'm seeing, though. Higgins, TMJ, and then you got one other one, I think, that was vying for a spot, too. You know, these guys plus the tight end battle. What a battle, man. It's really something. Let me hide the screen real quick so I can just check messages. If y'all don't mind. Right. I just gotta see what David sent me. David said he was watching Rich Eisen and Tampa Bay center was carted off the field during practice. This happened about 5 days ago. Oh, wow. I heard something about that, actually. That's wild, bro. That's wild. Let me just check something real quick. Because I know I saw that somewhere. And yeah, I know my screen's off right now. I'm hiding it for a reason for y'all. I'm messaging people while I'm streaming, and I know that's kind of impolite to do, but you know, it is what it is. I got family to take care of too, so just give me 1 second, y'all. But I'll be checking that chat in just a second, though. Any players y'all want to come up, y'all want to talk about, throw them in chat. I'll get to them in a second. Go ahead. It could be anybody from any team. I'll talk Raiders. I'll talk Chiefs. Doesn't matter. Even if it's not our own, I'll talk about them. I don't care. Throw them in. Like I said, I welcome in fans from any of the 32 teams. My goal is to educate. You know, on what I know, based on what I know, and based on what I've been able to find. I'm here to learn from you guys too. So, come on. Just know I'm going to have people blowing up my phone. It always happens around this time. Alright, so let's go. JC on the bike. Now he looks out. Glad we traded for Baker and used the first round pick on the tackles so Roll could run them with the twos. Okay. So that's what he was responding to. Okay. I got you. And this is Darren Gant with that tweet. Also Darren Gant. Darnold up with the first with the ones on in 9 on 7 on with Christensen, Jordan left side of the line. Okay. So it appears I did miss a little bit there. Paul Pasquani can still move at 72 years young. Alright, let's see it.
Let's go. Good.
Wow. He does have moves still. Good for him, man. Hey, full on respect to Paul, man. That's what's up. Alright, pads are on officially. Yesterday. We got JC Horn coming out.
Yeah. Let's get it, man. First day out for me.
That is such a reassuring thing to see right there. Him and pads. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Dude, that's awesome. That weather, though. 80 degrees. Cloudy. Perfect weather, man. Wow. Careful. 1 second, y'all. Alright, sorry about that. I should have responded to her about that. Family, y'all, I'm sorry. I guess I'm just gonna have to end this stream here, because I feel like if I don't handle family stuff right now, I'm just gonna get swamped right at the moment. So I apologize, y'all. I wanted to go further with this stream and cover more stuff, but yeah, it is what it is. We'll cover the rest of the next stream. We're gonna get you some outro music here in a second, and we'll head out of here.
Look at yourself.
Alright. Okay. Alright. Hit up that fantasy league in the Facebook group page if you want to. Like, follow, sub, hit the bell, select all, leave a comment down below on both areas. I'm out of here, guys. Peace. Keep pounding.